Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Today we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to go a little bit serious, more, should we say, use the word educational. I'd like to think all my podcasts are educational. But nonetheless, there's been topics that I've been wanting to talk about and actually want to be serious about for once. Because, sometimes got to be serious about a few things. Which title might be a bit misleading for those that are just looking at it, but just bear with me. We'll get there. It's not that misleading at all, but it is part of tonight's subject, too. I mean, smoke and mirrors, illusions, words, symbolism, all the fun things that they use to trap our minds and control us. So, I know some of you are probably wondering, why is he doing a podcast? Aren't you supposed to be in Chicago? Nope. Those plans came to a crashing end. And I'm not mad about it, believe it or not. I'm actually a firm believer that things happen for a reason, and there's some positive things came my way out of this one. So, no having fun in Chicago this weekend. But plans for other things have been laid out that I'm going to much more enjoy. So, we'll leave it at that. I don't like putting too much out there from time to time. Plus, anybody that knows me, it's the last place I wanted to go anyway. I'm sorry. Murder capital of the world. I'm good. I'm glad it fell through. But I don't. You hear me throw the phrase around, labels and whatnot all the time, and I do. I hate the label game more than anybody. But I also know the power behind words, power behind a label. I even kind of mentioned it with the MAGA movement. Very powerful. That little sigil there, that's what it was, had a lot of power, a lot of symbolism behind it, a lot of energy and a lot of force. And it still does to this day. One of the stronger movements we've seen in a very long time, or actually care to pay attention to. There's a key word. Things we care to pay attention to. Because some things we just don't pay attention to. We ignore it. Oh, it's just, I don't know. We become numb to so many things. And that numbness is some of the reason why we're in the state that we're in right now. I mean, the psychological warfare aspect of things has been going on for decades, probably centuries, to be honest with you. It's those that know how to master the words, or the old saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. It truly is. Those that know how to control their words can control a nation. Can turn a peaceful crowd into the mob, and vice versa. There's elegance in our words. There's power in our words. We're bombarded with so much information and symbolisms and symbols that how do we differentiate? How do we learn to not let it be a trigger? I'm going to do something that I said I would never do on this channel. I'm going to cross over 2 channels because for you guys to understand this, and I can't dumb it down, sorry. You have to know the esoteric teachings of things. So I'm going to dabble a little bit into that as well tonight. Try to get you guys to understand what you're dealing with. And what you're being constantly bombarded with. You know, symbolism is important. Sir Walter Disney was the master of psychological warfare, subliminal images. You know, and this stuff's been going on. I mean, our government, you know, and some of the alphabet agencies, it's just been rolling the ball one right after another when it comes to these projects, all the way from MK Ultra to the various other things that they've done, brainwashing techniques, imagery. I mean, there's now open, declassified files about they brought in these precogs, psychics, and worked with them, learned. So that's why I said some of the esoteric side of things need to be brought over and talked about, especially when it comes to symbolism or the creation of sigils that trigger. They're everywhere. I mean, I made it simple. The simplest I can put it, the McDonald's arch. You see the arch, and the first thing comes to your mind is McDonald's. That is the classic symbol of a sigil used. The danger of sigils and symbols is it's not meant to trigger your subconscious mind. Or it's not meant to trigger your conscious mind. It's meant to trigger your subconscious mind. You see right through it and don't even know it's there. It's directed right at your subconscious mind. And that's where things get dangerous. That's how they manipulate and control. But on that very subject, the control aspect is an illusion. From darkness to light is where the true illusion lies. And yes, I spelled lies the right way. Because an illusion is a lie. It's a veil. It's meant to hide, conceal, distract, smoke and mirrors. The master illusionist uses distraction and other things to lure you away from what's really happening until the trick is done. And it's happens all the time. I mean, I'm getting so sick and tired of watching any TV right now because of all the psychological warfare propaganda that's going on commercials. It's everywhere. And I know most of you don't see it or recognize it until it's pointed out because you haven't been taught certain things. I see it instantly and put defenses up so it doesn't affect me. It goes back to the chaos theory. Or not theory, wrong term. We'll just say chaos. Or the catastrophic paradigm. We use that word. Words are important. Words have meaning. Until you don't give them any meaning. Images have no meaning unless I give it meaning. There's no such thing as an illusion because I don't give illusions meaning. Simple trick in the book. give nothing meaning, then you give nothing power over you. The problem is we give too much things power. I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm an independent, I am this, that, BLM, which, by the way, anytime you abbreviate something, you're actually creating a sigil. You're creating, oh, I gotta dig deep in my vocabulary. I can't pronounce the word anyway, so I don't know why I'm trying. Basically, when you start abbreviate something, stripping letters out, you're creating a sigil. You're creating a word of power. Interesting note, right? Most people don't realize that. There's dangers with these labels, especially when we start abbreviating such labels. Most people don't even grasp what the concept of that, because they don't have, they're taught not to venture off their path, not to question anything, listen to their religious leaders, and all this is evil. Do not read it. Do not. Well, I'm sorry, guys. That's information, vital information to protect you guys, oneself. You know, it's everywhere. The dogmatic hypocrisy of it all, because it is hypocrisy at its root core. It's an illusion. It's meant to control the masses. It's meant to pit us against each other. You know, here's my, you guys heard me say this time and time again, sound belief. We're all American citizens. So therefore, if we're all supposed to be brothers and sisters, all American, yeah, well, I'm already started going there, so I'm going there. So I expect when I go to a sporting event to hear the national anthem. Why? Because that represents us as a country, and this country is made up of multiple races. But the racist NFL, and I do truly mean that, because by definition of racism is when you single out a race over another, has decided that they're going to play the black national anthem before games. Well, I find that extremely racist, unpatriotic, and just yet one more institution that is using psychological warfare to propagandize the hatred of another race by singling out all other races, by singling out the fact and not being the true ambassadors that they're supposed to be, and putting their foot down, saying, no, we're going to play the national anthem. No, we're not going to support any form of racism. We are going to play the national anthem. At this point, I don't care if you fucking take a knee or not. I find it disrespectful, but guess what? You're in America. You have that right and that freedom to do so. That's the part that burns so many people. I find it offensive, but at the same time, oh yes, there's a double-edged sword that we should all live by, because that person has that right and that choice to freely protest. Whether we like it or not, we should respect that. It burns me. Yes, it does. I can't lie on that. But at the same time, I respect what they're doing if it's for the right cause. What I don't respect is when these pro athletes, overpaid crybabies, and not all of them are. I could name a good handful that are actually pillars of the community, They go out. They just don't protest by taking a knee, or they're actually in the community being vocal about these things and doing things. There's the difference. Actions speak louder than words. I see a person doing that, they have my respect, and I'm going to actually pay attention. But we don't live in that day and age anymore. That's been brainwashed out of us. You know, I don't feel guilty for being Caucasian, not one bit. I'm proud of it. You know, and I will always point back to history. Because, you know, let's hold up on that one. You know, history is written by the conqueror, not the conquered. But every history has multiple stories within that history. The stories from the conquered that's been passed down from generation to generation. So when you research things, you just can't stop at the main history. You still got to go further down the rabbit hole. You got to look for the other unwritten history of it to fully understand things. But that's what they don't want you to do. They don't want you to question anything because that's wrong. They don't want you to question what's happening in Las Vegas and California, where they're pushing that. Now you need to wear masks while even indoors, even if you've been vaccinated. Hey, wait, what's up? And but so many people jumped in line. Let me get that shot. Let me get that shot. It's gonna protect me. It's not. You've been brainwashed and tricked. I mean, hell, they're talking about a third booster shot. Johnson & Johnson had to recall there because it was causing nerve damage. It's like, then you had the World Health Organization they openly said that they stopped animal trials because it was killing the animals. We just jumped right to human trials. But nobody batted an eye. Everybody was like, okay with it. Let me get that shot. When did this become the blind following the blind? I mean, there's a cliff over there. I don't want to follow that blind guy right over that cliff along with the rest of you. But that's what we're doing. So how did we get to this point? We started letting other people control us. We started truly, they want to say racism this well. We're all being treated like slaves and taught to fear. Fear is your number one worst enemy. If I can find something that you fear, I can control you, manipulate you to my will. And they know this. They're masters of it. It's gotten to the point where it's time to face our fears, start questioning everything, and actually truly freeing our minds. Because only then will we come to realize the illusions and the impact of the psychological warfare that we've been bombarded with. I don't give no celebrity, pro player, musician any credit as a role model, as someone to look up to, because you shouldn't. There's only one person you should be looking up to, and that's yourself. That's some of the steps of freeing yourself from all the bullshit that you've been programmed, and it starts the deprogramming process of it, becoming aware of the triggers, which is many. Imagery is the easiest form to do it because we see it, we process only a fraction of it. We don't process the intent that went into that image or to that meme or to that label. Because some brainchild behind the scenes had an intent. And he or she understands the power of imagery, the power of words, of innuendos, suggestion. And they create this lovely meme that everybody shares and it goes viral. And you sit back, what the hell? I don't get it. I'm glad I don't get it because that's just my little safeguard in place, protecting me from something I don't want to see. But 9 times out of 10, I see it anyway. I see it right down to the very minute aspect of it. It's like, hey, well, that's dirty. I mean, go to your movie theaters, you're bombarded with the imagery, the symbolisms, the symbols. They're everywhere. How do you free your mind from these things? Well, it's becoming aware. It's becoming to understand that everything we've been taught is an illusion. It's a lie. And I mean everything. You got to go back and question everything and rethink things. You got to question every ideology that you've had and truly open your minds to other things, other possibilities. Then when you find something that fucking hurts, it's a reality knocking. You know what they say, truth hurts. Focused on that for a bit. Why'd that trigger you so much? Why'd that hurt? Why'd you feel this, like everything just kind of crashing down all of a sudden? Some of us like to coin that as breaking glass cottages. Yeah, you build things out of glass, they will shatter. It's a very numbing experience. Been there, done that, don't like having it happen. It happens from time to time still. But that's what needs to happen. And esoteric circles, some call this the destruction of the temple. Yeah, not a fun process. Very enlightening at the end, very freeing, but yeah, no. Rather than ever go through that again. All right, got you free. But that's what's needed worldwide. I mean, truthfully, yeah, I think we need a great revival. I love that term. I love that word. That's what we truly need, a revival. A revival of awakening. That we're all created equal, that we're all brothers and sisters, that we're going to start taking back control of our lives, not let others dictate and manipulate and control us. Because that's been going on far too long and it's gotten way out of control. So, and I mean, it's way out of control. We've got so many people pitted against each other. It's not even funny. We've got people that can't get along because they're told that Black Lives Matter, not all lives. People that actually stood up and said all lives matter have been beaten brutally, shot, killed. The fact is, all lives do matter. If we fall into that category where we single out one group of people's lives as more important than the others, then we've just became victims of slavery. We're allowing others to control us by lying to us. by throwing an illusion and a veil over our eyes. I mean, how hard is it to research the dictionary for racism? What is racism? What's racist mean? It's a very simple search. Very simple answer. But yet, it's our politicians' play number one thing in their playbook. We'll pit each other against each other with racism. We have a racism problem. We got a supremacy problem. White nationalist problem. Oh my God, that drives me nuts. I'm sorry. That just is idiotic. Some of you guys might say, "Oh, what the hell? How's that idiotic?" Well, consider all the praise Hitler gave to the Muslims and the way they did things. And of course, you'd have to read Mein Kampf to understand that part, which I am proud to say that Israel finally unbanned because it was important. It's an important history lesson from one of the most dangerous minds that's walked this earth in a very long time. But he gave praise. He didn't hate. He only hated one race. Which is the irony on that, he was part Jew. Imagine that, right? Shows what kind of true monster he was. But we go back to World War II, and the propaganda psychological warfare machine was on full bore. We'll jump up a few decades to the very first Iraq War. You know what the most powerful tool we use was psychological warfare. And was actually practiced in World War II towards the end as well. Dropping the pamphlets, the leaflets, playing music loud. Where did we learn that from? Well, we learned that during World War II from the sultriest German voice. I can't remember her name to save my life. But she was a seductress and knew how to use her voice, her energy in her voice. Well, there's not hardly any left, but if you would have asked the GIs, almost everybody heard. It was Eva something, I think, or Ava something. I can't quite remember the last name. But she knew how. I mean, the power of your voice, if you guys truly understood how much power you just have in your own voice, the changes of your tone, vibration. If you learn to control that, oh man, you're masters within yourselves. Which is something I try never to do on this podcast or anywhere. Because I know how to do it because it's part of intonements. The power of sound is, oh boy, just as powerful as words. We can go clear back biblically to Book of Genesis. And God spoke. The Word, the living Word, is the formation of creation. Your words are formations of creation. That's how powerful your words are. Now, understand when I say words, that means language. That means labels. That means things we say. Do you understand how dangerous you are? Now, do you understand why they want to control you, silence you, strip you of your freedom of speech? Why they want to play the psychological warfare game? Because the most powerful weapon known to man is your voice. It is the voice that creates. It can create peace, fear, love, joy, every emotion that you know and things you don't even know. It's a game. It's a play on words. Who's going to be the master bard, step up and spin the tale? Spin the words that need to be spun to put things back on track. It just can't be one, though. But it starts with reteaching everyone. It starts with freeing everyone from their own prison that they've created and didn't even realize they created. And it starts with such a simple thing as just start questioning everything you've been taught. Yeah, it's not that simple, is it? Because we've been taught a lot. Then with each generation, words have changed. Things have been removed from history. So how do we correct those steps? Well, it starts with the elders re-educating the younger. Teaching them just what I'm telling you now. Research. Question everything. Find the answers. Learn to listen to yourself. Not what others say. Listen to that inner voice inside you. Learn to listen. Best tweet of the day, I think, was I gotta find it. Always trust your gut feelings. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore those red flags. It's the truth. When we start ignoring our own gut feelings, our own instincts, well, we're just helping the cause along of throwing up those prison walls, of giving somebody else power over us, control. No man or woman should ever have power over you. No word should ever have power over you. But yet, we give so many words. I mean, can't say the N word because that's a trigger. That's racism. Why is it? It's a word. It means black. It's a color. But it was used as a psychological weapon to segregate. It was used as a label to segregate, separate, and categorize. That's what labels do. That's why I am no fucking Republican or Democrat, independent, or no fucking other such label. The only time I use a label is when it is needed. Because then it has power. And I have control over that power when that label is to be used. Your titles are labels. Oh, we're going to dub you Sir Walt Disney. Well, he knew the true power behind that. Some of us do. Lord. I'm your Lord. Bow to me. No. Sorry. Doesn't work that way anymore. That's the old caste system at play. That ugly word always pops up in my podcast somewhere, somehow, because that was the feudalist, well, not feudalistic, that was the caste system. And we still live in a caste system now. We just changed the name, give it a new illusion. It's a republic, it's a democracy, but it's still the same. It's still the caste system. Draw that pyramid out. You have your rich, your elites, your kings, queens, presidents, governors, all the way down to the peasants, which is the working class. You have your priests and priestesses of your temples and your churches that rule above the peasants, the working class. That's the caste system. Nothing's changed. We just changed the name. We create a new illusion every time somebody sees through it. Oh, they see through that one. We can't control them with that anymore. We got to create something new, flashy, catchy, that instills fear. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I'm quite sober. I'm actually drinking water. Like I said, sometimes when you want to do something serious, you got to free your mind. You got to free your mind of all toxicities and toxins. Or sometimes you might want to delve a little bit deeper into the alcohol or spirits to loosen up things. Yeah, like I said, things can be a two-edged sword. But to those that don't understand and know the power behind such things, well, just remember everything in moderation. On that note, lost somebody. Must have triggered them. Kind of happens when you go down rabbit holes people don't want to hear about. Especially when you talk about using a drug, and alcohol is a drug. I mean, I've been vocal about that for a while. I'd rather see people high smoking weed than drinking. I don't even like alcohol, but yet I drink because I can't do the other. If I could do the other, I'd do the other. I'd never touch a bottle. I drink. Some people will be triggered by the next image that pops up, but they shouldn't be. But NASCAR, we got to ban the rebel flag. I'm as rebel as they get. When it comes to Southern blood, I mean, direct descendant of John Rutledge, used to be the president of South Carolina before he got into the government, before he educated in Europe to be a lawyer. I mean, I can go on and on. But as this, God, it runs in my veins. You need to abandon that fort. The British are going to take it. They can't take this fort. We're not an abandon. Disobey a direct order. And the British never took that fort. That's just one of his rebel ways, and probably one of the very last ones cost him his seat as a Supreme Court justice. Even though he was temporarily appointed into the hearing, he was supposed to be a shoo-in, but he had that Jeffersonian attitude, and well, he wasn't about to be not vocal about something that he knew would cost this country, and it cost this country all the way from the Revolutionary War till Clinton took office as president in the 90s. The debt we had to pay back Britain. He was against the treaty. And he spoke out vocally, and it cost him his seat, Supreme Court justice seat. Even though at that time, he was still setting and hearing cases, because he was appointed by George Washington to fill in until his confirmation hearing, which he's, to this day, has been the only Supreme Court justice not to be nominated by Congress. That's how much of a rebel he was and stood up for what he believed in. That's what we all should be doing. When we see wrong, we should be vocal about it. You know, these stupid social media platform tech giants think they can control everything. We have our own fact checkers. Yeah, well, you take your own fact checkers and shove them so far up your fucking ass. Because it's nothing but a pack of lies that you're spewing. They're continuing with the fear of propaganda, psychological warfare, controlling people, what they can say and can't say, trying to put an end to any such notion as free thinkers. Why? Free thinkers question things. They talk about things that's normally talked about behind closed doors openly. Why? Because the free thinkers are the true philosophers of the world. They question everything and not scared to have a discussion about it, no matter what the subject is. They actually call them the Renaissance philosophers. The true philosophers are long gone. That's why I admire Stefan Malamieu. I haven't listened to him for a while because I kind of tuned everybody out. Yeah, I have a tendency to go MIA for a while. I've been MIA for a very long time. A lot of people like it when I go MIA. Then, I get these people that keep coming and like, when are you going to do a podcast? Oh, do I have to? Or, come on my show. No, I ain't feeling it. Why? I already know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Why? Because eventually I'm going to piss you off. I'm going to trigger you. And I'm proud of it when I do it. Why? Some people would call that ego, but there's no ego there. Because that's what our job is, to make people question things and think. If I trigger you, then I did something right. I did my job. I made you think. I made you question something. I made you realize something. People get on me, why don't you advertise your channel? Ha! If I was as big as some of these channels out there, I would not be doing these podcasts anymore because YouTube would have shut me down a long time ago. See, I learned the tricks of the trade, and I don't have to. Why? I have people that'll come in, watch my videos. Next thing I know, I'll be listening over in their area. Ah, yeah, interesting. Wonder where you got that from. I don't care. Why? My message is being spread. Oh, I know how to play in the shadows. I'm very good at it. That's my sandbox. If people would truly know where I've had my hands in, things I've done and built, websites that I've been part of on the internet, that I've worked in the backgrounds on, they'd be amazed. I mean, at one point, I was on almost 200 social media platforms as either an admin or somebody that was helping build them. I've had my hands in a little bit of everything. Yes, I live up to that jack of all trades, master of none. There's not much I don't get my hands into. Why? Because it's a learning experience. The more I learn, the happier I am. I can't sit idle and be bored. My mind won't let me. And that's a good thing. You should strive not to let your mind be idle and bored. Give it a task. Give it something to question. I mean, when it comes to our religious preferences, more than likely you're on the path you're supposed to be on. But still question it. Question those things. I mean, I've been to every denomination church of worship that there is. And I was hearing the same BS. This person's evil. This person, because they're homosexual, they're evil. Because they're Catholic, they're evil. It was like this domination was bash this one bashed that one. It was back and forth. It's like, now I understand how we're taught to hate. It just doesn't happen in our schools. It doesn't just happen. It happens at a very early age. If our religious beliefs tells us to hate another group of people, I'm sorry, I don't want no part of it. You know? Because hate is another means to control. If I can make you hate something, I got that control over you. I can stop you from questioning anything outside that hatred that I ingrained into you, planted that seed in you. Are you starting to see how dangerous psychological warfare is? We're bombarded with it. We've been bombarded with it from the time of our birth. The true age of innocence is when the end of innocence is the very first time we learn that if we cry, we are going to be rewarded with milk. Or we're going to be picked up and held. Funny. Ha, Rob, top that. Inside joke, but yeah. It's a matter of perspectives. That's always been perspective. If we can free our minds to see perspectives in a whole new perspective, as perspectives are meant to be seen and shared, philosophized about, talked about, we would learn so much. We would free ourselves from so many people's control. I mean, we've been controlled by people we don't even know. That's the sad part of it. We're subjugated to so much crap. Oh, imagine that. George Carlin, they don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. Why? Oh, wait, we need to have critical race theory. What? No. We don't need critical hate theory, because that's what racism is. It's hate. We don't need to be propagandizing hate any more than it's already been done throughout centuries. We're all supposed to be equal. We're all supposed to be brothers and sisters. We're all supposed to be humans. Scientifically proven there is no DNA that dictates race. Our genetic makeups as a human are all the same. Nothing dictates our skin color other than where we live. That controls the pigment in our skin. The closer you are to the equator, the darker you will be. Scientifically proven. Can't be argued or disputed. So take your race theory and fuck off. Find some other sucker or wait. You find millions of them every day. You've gotten to the point where every commercial has to be a biracial couple, and to the point where now they don't even want to have a white Caucasian person in the commercial. It has to be a mixed race. Oh, talk about psychological warfare. Talk about programming. You see it. You're bombarded with it every day. Every day you see these commercials. Might be a different character, different actors, but it's the same story. It's the same psychological propaganda symbolism that's going right to your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind doesn't even see it. That now is teaching you and programming you to what? And it's every day. But yet, people are oblivious to it. I don't know how many people. Man, I say one thing, might be joking, but somebody takes offense to it. Jesus fucking Christ, why'd you take offense to that? It was a joke. Are you that sensitive? Or, wait, that's called a psychological trigger. Something you need to face and overcome. Something you need to question. From darkness to light. If you want to find the light, first you must walk through the darkness. Because within that darkness is the light. Talk about a conundrum. Think about it though. We have to walk through the darkness to find the light. Near-death experiences the tunnel, the dark tunnel, walking towards the light. Walking to the whole... Okay, guys. First off, apology. Because now I just realized what I did. I did not mean to do it. But my title is a little symbolic. Let's just put it that way. I didn't realize I did it. Some teachings die hard. But it's the truth. It's the conundrum. Because we are born into this world from darkness to the light. Like I said, the title packs a punch when you start playing with it. Didn't mean to do it. But, things happen for a reason. I don't believe in coincidences, sorry. People we encounter, people enter our lives for a reason. Just like I do these podcasts, don't expect anybody to ever watch them, really. But, they're there for the person it's meant for. Smart, right? Because somewhere out there, somebody's going to come across this, stumble across it. This is why I don't advertise my channel. Because I don't know who that person will be, or people. It might be a group of people. That's who this is meant for. It goes back to some more esoteric stuff. When the student is ready, the teacher, when the student is ready, the teacher will be there. When the message is ready to be heard, they will find it. They will be drawn to it. A coincidence, they'll stumble across it. But yet it was meant to happen. It's just like shit that's happened the past couple of weeks. Led up to something great. I mean, my mind's still blown. That works for me. Okay. It does work, but I didn't mean to do what I did. But everything happens for a reason, so we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, that's why I said oh boy. I try to be careful with things. Because I have all this knowledge. With knowledge is power, but with power requires a lot of wisdom to not abuse it. But unfortunately, some people have these tools that they shouldn't have. Because they're abusing the shit out of it. Shit like this should be used for good things. It can be used for great things. But no. We got these greedy, power-hungry, controlling, wannabe masters. And by the way, I think I've touched on this before. The concept of master and submissive or master and slave is an illusion. Why would you say that? Here's why I say that. We're going to delve a little in a darker area. We're going to delve into the BDSM lifestyle. A true master in BDSM understands they have absolute no control. Why? The slave and submissive has the complete control. One word. They call it a safe word. Once said, everything stops. It vibrates because that bond and trust that is built within that type of relationship. A true master understands that submissive, that slave, has the ultimate power, the ultimate control. They control the whole situation. One word, and everything stops. There's an illusion for you. Because in that scenario, the master is the dominant, the one that's controlling, ever powerful. Until that one little word said, then the illusion falls away. Then it's like, okay, what happened? What did I do wrong? Then it goes into something called aftercare. Okay, no, we're done. The session's over. But that's where communication comes in. That's why I have so much respect for that lifestyle. Because it's about communication and trust. It's about being open. Something we can learn from. This is what it means to be open-minded. It means delving in areas where you might not think you'd go. And what do you learn from it? A lot. You gotta step outside the box. You gotta free yourself from that self-made prison. There's so much out there that will help free you. And some of it's not for everybody. So don't go jumping into that scenario I just mentioned, because it's a dark area. Especially nowadays. 10 years ago? No. It was different. 20 years ago, it was really different. Now it's just about a bunch of wannabes because they watched too much, whatever, the 50 Shades of Grey, whatever that was. Got no idea, and people are getting messed up because of it. But that was Hollywood's intention. Some things should not be made into a movie. And if you're going to make it in a movie, at least portray it right. All right. Thanks for joining. It's nice to see new faces in the chat. I know Swordpoint was talking about some of those very subjects, dealing with words. I mean, because it's a word game. It's, we give these words too much power. We give them too much meaning. We've changed the meaning over things. And we've gotten to some point where it's gotten so far esoteric, and not even a good kind of esoteric, that it's scary. When we start breaking things down and creating abbreviated labels, it becomes a sigil. That's very dangerous, especially when you don't know what the intent behind it was to begin with. The energies within it will tell you what it is, but that's not everybody's cup of tea, and we're not going there. Because that's not something I can even dumb down to break down. It's hard enough dumbing down the psychological warfare aspect of it. I mean, I know people that can. Me and simplicity. I love a simple life and simple things, but me and simplicity do not get along. I can't do. My mind don't work simple. It has to be chaos or extreme, long, drawn out equation type shit for it to work and understand things. And only I can, yeah, no, I can't break simple things down. The best I can do is what I'm doing now, explaining certain aspects of things. And the easiest thing to explain is words. Here's some research for you. Look up the power of sound. What vibrations can do. It can make water run backwards. It can make water go from the ground to the sky. You know, in Tibetan teachings, they were able to, with sound, move rocks. I mean, biblically, the sounding of the trumpets and the walls came down. Just not taught biblically. The Tibetans knew it too. They knew how to move boulders by chanting, by using instruments. That's why music is so powerful. Just not the words and lyrics, but the vibration coming from the sound. It registers and triggers differently, which modern day technology makes fucking listening to music great. But downside of it is, what's in the music? What's the energy and frequency and the lyrics doing? What's the hidden innuendo? Oh yeah, sorry guys. I didn't mean to rain on the music parade. And don't ever let it rain on it. Because music is very powerful. Like I said, those that know how to use their voice, use their words, change their pitch, change their frequency and vibration. We talk about 5Gs. You know I have a little bit got away from it, but I know others talk about 5G, all this EMF. I mean, we're bombarded with it. Everything in our houses use it now. I mean, we're getting to the point where we got smart locks, smart light bulbs, smart TVs, smart security, smart. We got too much damn smart technology going on, and it's putting out a crap ton of EMF. High levels of it, dangerous levels of it. Same principle. It's a frequency that vibrates. 5G does the same thing, and it's dangerous. Until we learn to attune ourselves to that energy, or attune ourselves to protect us and block that energy. Yeah. I guess I can simplify some things now. I probably didn't, but the concept's there. The seed's there. That's all that matters. We're planting seeds tonight. Why? Because it's needed. And those seeds will take fruit. Something you'll see on TV or see going down the road, a sign will pop up. And one of those seeds will come to fruition. And hey, it might just open your eyes to something new. It might just protect you from something harmful. And that is really needed in this time of age. I went back, I was listening to I like Up Church. And I was listening to what was the name of that song? The lyrics in it is amazing because it's the truth. And he wrote this a few years back, but it applies to today. Boy, does it apply to today. Bloodshed is the name of the song by Up Church. Go check it out. Listen to the lyrics. Tell me it doesn't remind you of the shit we're seeing today. Yes, I'm going to give you a few tasks to do. Why not? If I can get you to do some research, question things, and think. It'll give you something to do. It'll give you one more tool to help free yourself from all this garbage that we've allowed into our lives. The control aspect. I know me and Bree got into the military aspect of it, which I'm going to have to start being more careful with now. But, I mean, no secret there. I mean, labels are powerful in the military. Who's got a bigger fucking dick? Who's true leaders? Who can lead? And who's the true followers? There is so much brainwashing, and it's designed that way for a reason. One, it's designed to shut the switch off. Can't have soldiers going postal. We can't have them feeling emotion in combat. So yes, they have to be trained to turn that switch off. Which is part of the reason why we have so many PTSD cases. Because I know how to turn that switch off, and it's not good. No, bad things happen on that one. Worst thing I ever learned. The worst part is I learned that myself. I wasn't taught that one. Some things in your mind should be left alone. Yeah, there's dangers within your own mind. That's part of knowing thyself. You know, when you're young and dumb and, well, you don't. You think you know it all, and yeah. Cause irrevocably severe damage. Why? Because you knew it all. Yeah, well, guess what? I've come to learn. I'm 43 now, and I don't know shit. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't even know, haven't begun to grasp half the shit that's out there. All the things I thought I knew. It's like, wow, every day's a new day, a new learning experience. And you sit back and catch something on TV, and it's like, or catch a tweet, or catch a Facebook post, and it's like, oh, really? Why? Why did I even sign in? Seriously, it's gotten that bad. But most people don't see it. They don't get it. Well, I'm kind of tired of getting it, so I'm gonna give it back. You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So why not? Two can play at the same game. I just might be a little bit better master at it. So let's give people the tools to counter what's going on. Why not? Fuck it, right? Yeah, fuck it. 2 tears in a bucket. That's what I think about it. See, we can have some fun on here. I'm sure I'm going to hear about this podcast from various different groups of people and communities, but I don't give a fuck, and they know it. I love that. I mean, don't even bother. It's a beautiful thing about my life. I'm free. Nobody can tell me what I can and can't do. Well, you know, besides the laws. Well, I ain't breaking any laws. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. And I know what the laws are, and I know how to be respectful, I know how to be a gentleman when I need to be. I also know how into, hey, no, waitress, you should not be mixing drinks when you mix drinks stronger than I make them, and that's saying something. Yeah, I love that waitress to death, but oh my god, no. She brought me 2 cups of, Pepsi cups, drinking cups of ice, and try to dilute this down. It was that strong. I'm like, can I have a beer? I'm like, I have no D&D, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm good. I can't drink no more of that. I mean, a sip got me fucking wow. Yeah, no. I thought I made strong drinks. Yeah, but that's also knowing I know my limits. As soon as as soon as I tasted it, it's like, oh no. I don't even dilute after I diluted it down. Oh no. I gotta get home. I gotta drive. I have no D&D and I'm not being stuck in this parking lot for 2-3 hours sobering up. You know, but that's knowing thyself. That's knowing your limits. And it goes into this process that we're talking about. I mean, simple stuff like that. Knowing your limit. Learn to limit how much you take in from social media platforms. How much you take in from your TVs. Everything within moderation. That's a big stepping stone. Because you are bombarded. I mean, you guys could only see half the shit that you are bombarded with. You'd never turn your computers, phones, TV on ever. That's how bad it is. But nobody tells you this. Because, well, I'm a YouTube streamer and I want my shit to get shared. I want followers. I want numbers. Yep. You need to put your ego to the side. You need to realize what you're doing because you're becoming no better than those you bitch about. It's not about numbers. It's not about who has the biggest dick. Sorry, guys, but I mean, that's what it is. It's a pissing contest. It's a form of control. You know, like I said, I mean, what? I'm at 83 people, and it's like, huh? When that happened, I never intended this channel to go anywhere. It's meant for those who seek it. We're drawn to it. And I enjoy the conversations in my chat, actually, because we learn from each other. Oh, wait, they don't want you doing that. Because I quickly figured out today I cannot age restrict my live streams anymore. Because if I do, everywhere I post them, they can't watch it there. So I have to wait till after I do my live stream, then age restrict it, then nobody can watch it where it's posted at either. They have to click on it and come to YouTube to watch the age restricted video. See? But if I don't age restrict it, I take the risk of getting a community strike. Why? Because I used one too many F words. Oh, I talked about this. I talked about that. I hit I hit all the algorithms anyway, so I don't care. Like I said, one day this channel will disappear. It will get nuked. But you nuke one, I've got 7 more waiting to go. These guys don't get it. I've got a backup to multiple backups. It's just how it has to be. And I'm everywhere. That's the other part people don't get. I'm places where you don't even realize it. And I've already proven the statistics lie. The numbers lie. Guy at work Caught it. He's like, yeah, they're messing with your stream. I'm like, oh yeah, it's nothing new. They do it all the time. I don't care. Why? Because this video's it's being recorded and it gets put somewhere else. Nuke it all you want. It's still there. It's still out there. See, but to most people, they got to have those numbers. It becomes a control factor. Oh, we're going to strip you of your followers like Twitter does all the time. I don't care. It's a number. We'll reconnect if it's meant to be. If not, hey, people meet for a reason. Some go their separate ways. Enjoy it while you can. Don't give those numbers, those statistics, power over you. Don't let your ego get in your way of realizing the truth. I don't need to monetize because by monetize, they control my free speech. I can't say this. I can't say that. So I'm not going to monetize. I'm not even going to sell t-shirts as much as I've been asked for them. It's not going to happen. I'm not giving anybody control over my free speech, over the things I can say. I mean, advertisers. I've been approached by a couple of advertisers. Can we advertise? No, fuck off. You're going to get pissed off one day for something I say, and you're going to use that against me and try to control my content. Fuck off. I don't need your money. I know how to make my money. It's called going to work. Earning a living. I don't need to do it from here. This is fun for me. Until it's not. Then I disappear. I take my little sabbatical break. Tune out. Get away from everything. Which is something you all should learn how to do. Take a break from this stuff. But no, you're addicted. You're worse than an addict. You got to be on Facebook. You got to see what's trending. You got to, oh man, this person's talking about this. Oh God. I probably should have titled this Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind, but while you're both sitting, there's another catchy little title of mine that has more meaning within meaning. The things we do and don't realize, right? But those are triggers for me. They trigger a memory. Just never thought it would happen in a podcast like this. But yeah, they trigger memories. They're used specifically for that, for me. It's what I've been taught. So, when I forget something or can't remember it, hey, when it's needed, I stumble across the trigger. Like I said, nothing's coincidence. Much like the title, there's so much meaning in that title, you just don't know. And maybe you'll figure it out one day. How many veils and illusions do we wield? Do you know the real me? Yeah, you've seen my face, you hear my voice. Some of you know me. But you know the real me. No, you see what you want to see. Then you see what I want you to see. And those that know me the closest, they know when I'm actually drunk on here and when I'm not. And they also know how quick I can sober up. They also know when I'm using a veil or an illusion. Why? They know me. Most of you don't. The only thing you know, I gave you my word that I wouldn't do any of that on here. And I don't. I don't play the word games. I don't play the frequency game. Because that's not what it's about. How can we learn if you're being manipulated? Well, some might argue, well, maybe that's the lesson. Maybe you gotta show them that to understand how easy it is. It's just that easy. Blink of an eye. That's all I need. A split second to drop one little word, one little image, one little caption. That's how easy it is. And most of us never know the real people out there, the real person, because they hide themselves. Everybody does it. It's a self mechanism, safety mechanism, protection. So we don't see when they're hurt, in pain. I mean, I earned the nickname Smiley for a reason. And it's because, yeah, you don't want to sit down and play cards with me. Let's just put it that way. I don't bluff. And when I have done it, you best believe even I believe the illusion. That's how you. That is a true bluff when you believe it to be a fact, reality. See how dangerous things are? You're tricking your mind into believing a false reality, a false illusion. But that energy, the facial expressions, everything, because you believe it with such conviction, it is. You have that person beat. The ultimate true bluff. Because poker players read that. Their gift. They know how to read it. Some of them can even read the energy. So in truth, I never bluffed. Why? Because I turned that bluff into reality. My mind believed it was real. Therefore, it is. That's how powerful your mind is. And all that comes showing out from your facial expressions, your energies. People feel it, the vibration. We put off our own vibrations. Proven fact, scientifically, documented fact. Now, do you understand why they don't want free thinkers? Why they don't want you to know these little ins and outs? This esoteric knowledge, which is not really so esoteric when you think about it. It's our mind. It's learning to use those parts of our mind that we don't use. We use like 5% of our brain, our mind. And that's truthfully what the esoteric teachings are, teaching you to open up all those parts of your mind, which is impossible. You'd need hundreds of lifetimes to do it. Because like I said, we only use 5%. Maybe one day, people will learn to use more. There's people walking around now that uses 15, 20%. And guess what? They're not being controlled by anybody. Our politicians might use 5%, 6%. They know the tools, they know the craft, but they don't have no real power. They just play the game. Because that's what they're taught to do. Believe it or not, they're definitely nothing but the puppets. There's somebody pulling their strings, and they don't even realize it either. They're living that lie of illusions. They think they are all powerful. They're in control. And in truth, they're not even in control. They're just the puppets being having their strings pulled by another puppet master. It's sick when you start seeing things for what they are, seeing how the game is played, because it's a mental game. It's about giving things power, knowing when not to give something power, knowing when to say something at the right moment. Some of the greatest revolutionaries of our times, even Martin Luther King, he knew the power of his voice. He knew the reach. He knew the tricks and ins and outs. Such people like Gandhi, and I can go on and on with names. They understood these things. They knew how to bring people together, and that's the dangerous part. We talked about when Trump came around, we had the alt-right, the alt-left, and we seen the alt get fractured, splintered, and shit, oh my God. Once again, label. Once again, people infiltrating those groups and changing the narrative for what the group originally stand for. We see it with every movement today. The feminist movement today is not what it was in the 80s and 90s. The Black Panther movement of today is not what it was of that time. And actually, the old school Black Panthers of that time really frown upon what's going on now. It's a system that's designed when something starts to catch hold, catch fire, like MAGA, we need to infiltrate it. We need to slide our agents. We need to slide our brainwashed subjects into it to cause something, cause a reaction, so we can give it negative, so we can deflate it. It's the back and forth. People say, well, that's evil, that's good. What is good? What is evil? It's a play on words. What makes a person's intent good or evil? I can't say. I don't know why the person's doing it. What is his reasons or her reasons and intent? They may think they're doing the most wonderful work on earth. That's why I said there's no such thing as righteousness. One man's righteousness is another man's prison. I'm doing the righteous work. Yeah. I'm sure there's some out there might not think the same way. While you're, calling this group evil and putting everybody in that group under that label and classifying them all evil. Wow. How blind you are. Because it's only a small percentage and it's in every group. We don't care what it is, what label you use. Every group has its bad apples. Let's just call it for what it is. It's a bad apple. If you don't get rid of the bad apple, yes, it will fucking rot the whole bushel. But it's not the actual bushel that's causing. It's not the bad apple that's causing the bushel to rot. It's the people that aren't smart enough to realize they're being tricked, and they condemn the whole bushel. Oh no, they're evil. We must hate them. Oh, how far we have strayed. We have lost our ways in so many ways. We've given complete control over the people that don't even, if they had their way, they wouldn't even call us human. because they think they're that much better than you. All we are is a commodity, a workforce. A group that needs to be controlled, corralled, and those that can't be controlled, well, we know what they do to them. Which turns the game into something completely different. Because then it becomes no longer a game. Then it becomes, okay, you want to play that game? Bet. Because, the truth is, for most people, going after them does absolutely nothing. Now, you go after the things they care about, the things they love. And that's not a good idea. Ever. But, that's their mentality. Okay, we can't hurt him this way, but we can hurt him this way. We can't hurt her this way, but we can hurt her this way. They'll fall in line. Yeah, that's history's shown that doesn't work too well. And eventually, a spark happens, and the masses wake up. And nothing good comes of that. It's just one of those things. Where do you guys stop and take time to just tune everything out? I mean, I've learned a long time ago. Breaks from this is important. Breaks from social media is very important. Breaks from the TV, very important. Getting out, socializing, important. More important sometimes than actually coming on here and doing a podcast. Yes, this is coming from the antisocial one. And yes, I'm very much antisocial. I like my own quietness. I'd much rather get lost in my mind and deal with people. That's actually the truth. But yet, I am very social, come to find out. Who would ever thought it? Definitely didn't think I'd be the one doing the podcast. I figured that would have been one of my other friends, but hey, I don't know. Shit happens for a reason, right? And it does. And that's the other thing you need to be careful with. Since I realized I've done it a bunch tonight. Repetition. Repeating something over and over. It might be every, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes. But I'm sure somebody goes back. I'm not going back. Don't even ask me to, because I can't stand the sound of my own voice. Which I don't know how you guys listen to me. Really don't. How many times have I stated and used different words to state it? That shit happens. There's no such thing as coincidence. Things happen for a reason. It's been kind of one of those weeks. Because really, I should be probably down, out, and pissed off that for once in my life, I've actually taken a vacation. Never took one my whole fucking life that I've worked. I mean, other than taking vacation time for medical purposes, that's about it. Take somebody to the doctor, have my teeth done. I've never really used vacation for myself. Finally, it's gonna go do something fun, erotic. I was gonna have a blast, and it came crashing down. But something else happened, and guess what? I'm probably the happiest person on earth for not going. And I don't got a clue what I'm gonna do for the next 4 days or 4 days, but hey, break from work. Good. I put in over 300 hours overtime this year and still putting overtime in. So, but hey, shit happens for a reason. But repetition, back to the narrative at hand, is dangerous because it's just like the repetition of images or a commercial. The more we see it, there's a few things that can happen. It numbs us to a situation to where it, I was big on this earlier, on a couple years ago. The trans movement. We had the Pacific. The tran word was being thrown around and used in so many different forms that people became numb to it. We had the transgender movement, the Trans-Pacific Pipeline, the Trans-American Pact, some shit. There was like fucking 40 different forms of trans. Every time you listen to something, seen something, it had something to do with trans. That repetition numbed a bunch of people to it. And what did we see? We seen some laws being changed. Cleared into the military. So where we're at a point where, can a transgender should be allowed to compete. If it's a male transgender, should be allowed to compete because it identifies as a female in female sports. No. Somewhere we got to draw the line. But that's a simple answer. Simplicity at its finest. You can't change your DNA. And your DNA makes you who you are, male or female. You can't change that identity marker. So therefore, I don't care if you go completely through the operation. I will address you respectfully as you want to be, because that's your right. That's your freedom of choice. But in the end, don't push too far, because you still got male testosterone pumping through your veins, along with jacked up hormones now, which gives you an unfair advantage over a woman. And same thing happens when you switch it over. Competition is dangerous, and it's educational, and it's needed. Through competition, new inventions come out, new ideas, new theories. Because this is going to piss off all you yo guys out there. Perfect balance equals stagnation. Zero room for growth. We need opposition, we need competition, and we need chaos to spur growth. So, another two-edged sword. But it's a matter. From a Buddhist understanding, you need a little chaos. You can't just be tranquil, because there's no growth in tranquility. But they rely on the spiritual mind aspect. Peace. It goes back play on words. You can't have peace without war. You can't have love without hate. Some might argue the facts on that, but hey, that's your prerogative. This is opinion. It's up to you to figure out how it fits in your little world. My little world, it's a word. It only has meaning and power when I give it. Yes, even the word love. It's an emotion. but it's a word. It has a vibration, it has an energy, it has a frequency, but only when I allow it to have. It's something I can give and receive or deny. Now our darkness and light become gray because we're taught that those emotions are just that, emotions. They're nothing else. They're not a form of energy, not a form of frequency, vibration. They can't be controlled. They have to have meaning. They only have to have meaning when you allow them to have meaning, which puts you in a gray area because we want to feel that. We do. We want to feel loved. But with love comes pain. We don't want to feel pain, but we want to feel love. See the conundrum? All these things are tools. I hate saying it. I do. I really do. It's the worst thing I've ever was taught. But everything's a tool. It's up to you to learn how to use your tools. When it is not needed, you put it away. When it's broken, you get rid of it. When it's no longer needed and you'll never use it again, you discard it. Hence, a tool is life. Such a tool. Just for saying it, but hey, it's a tool. And it has a purpose. When its purpose is used and no longer needed, I either discard it, put it away, because I might need it on another rainy day, like the umbrella, or I get rid of it. Hence, it goes back to the saying of the day, and I'm not going to repeat it. By now, you guys know what it is without me saying it, so hey, another lesson taught. See, repetitive words are dangerous, because now you can pretty much, well, know what I was going to say before I said it, because hey, it goes back to what I've been. Yep, that's it. That phrase. Shit happens. But you also have control over that. You can learn to forget that phrase. By every time you hear it, ignore it. It doesn't have meaning. I don't suggest doing that because it does have meaning. But it's the idea that you have that control to give it meaning or not give it meaning. Some people don't believe it. They say it's a coincidence. So now, if I say that phrase, you say it's a coincidence and it changes that meaning. How easy was that? It's a game. It's an illusion. It's a play on words. It's a play on everything. It's a tool. Knowing how to use them. Knowing how to move the chess pieces around the board, and to be a true chess master to realize the most dangerous piece on the board is not the queen, it is the pawn. Sometimes it is great to be the fool. Nobody pays attention to the fool. He's just a gesture. When in truth, the fool sees everything, hears everything, but no one sees him. And if they do, they see the illusion of a fool, not a brilliant mind, a spy, an assassin, a master. A little play on the tarot there. The true magician is the fool. He knows how to wield illusions. He is nobody. He is overlooked. He's that homeless person that's actually a rich billionaire that just happens to be dressed as a homeless person pandering for money, which is actually does happen. Don't look at me. I don't get that one. But I don't get. I don't. I've met a lot of people here of late. Dumpster divers. Oh my god. I'm like, no. But the shit they find. I'm like, okay. You what? What? How much? Huh? Who would have thought? Who would have ever thought that goats were worth mass money? Not I. Yeah, you're a goat farmer. Whoopty. What? You sold what? How? Oh, wait. A prize goat went for that much money? Wow. I'm in the wrong business. The shit that you learn by stepping outside the box, interacting with different people. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't actually care what country you're from. I'm going to learn something from you. You talk into my chat room, you type in my chat room, I'm going to learn something from you. And it might be something I needed to learn that I didn't know, or something that I was believing to be reality that wasn't. You might trigger me. The difference between me and most, that happens, I'm going to go back and question some things. Okay, why'd that trigger me? Why'd that bother me? What do I got wrong? Where? Yeah, time to go down the rabbit hole. Rabbit holes. Such fun little inventions. Nothing more than a mind fuck, but they serve their purposes. And usually it's the distractor person. It's another form of smoke and mirrors, but hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Knowing how to use your tools. Oh God, now I'm repeating shit. Fucking, I'm not meaning to. Okay, we need to find a new word to be repetitive with. Good thing I got a high vocabulary. But it's what this video is about. All the things they use to control you, stop you from thinking. They manipulate you in such a way you don't even know you're being manipulated. So why not? Let's have fun at my expense, doing the things I said I'd never do on this channel, and point them out. Because those are tools now that you have that you can use to see these little things that are fucking with your life. I mean, bringing you down. The tricks of the trade. Like I said, I can play the game probably better than they can. I've just been taught better. As in, it's a tool. You don't use it unless it is absolutely fucking necessary. Which means pretty much all life or death. Most scenarios with some of those tools, because we're not supposed to ever manipulate a person. Okay, maybe deceive a little bit to plant a seed, but not full-blown manipulation as control. I don't own you. You're not my property. I don't want to own you. I don't want the responsibility. Because there's responsibilities. Yeah, I do this, there's consequences. Oh, sorry, I'm not that evil, guys. I mean, I can be a downright evil son of a bitch, but there's a line. I don't cross it. And of course, that line's pretty way out there, but there's a line that I won't even, not even I will cross. because once you do, there's no coming back from it. So, yes, in hindsight, 2020, I'm accepting responsibility for everything I just said tonight that you might do because I don't have a choice in it. I opened my mouth. Because tools in the wrong hands are dangerous. I know that better than anyone. Because one of my arguments used to be all knowledge and information should be shared. Shouldn't be hidden, shouldn't be protected by oaths. Yeah, well, along comes wisdom. Gives you a swift kick in the ass. Like, yeah, you're wrong. But then how do you gonna accept responsibility when you give the tools and put dangerous tools in a person's hands? Yeah, it depends what the consequences are, maybe. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those. We're gonna use a new word. Uh, loopholes. Find a loophole. A loophole that's not going to come back and bite you in the ass later. But that's what sets us apart. I care. You know, I take the knowledge that I've been taught, passed down to with, and I realize how powerful some of it is. I realize how dangerous it is. But I can't sit idly back and by and let shit keep going the way they're going. It's just not going to happen. It's not part of who I am. It's not part of my... No. That's good. And it's always been one of my arguments with certain other communities. It still pops up from time to time, but I don't care. See? I know how to use I don't care as a safeguard. I don't care, and they know I don't care. I'll be that little chaotic fuck that's going to throw the monkey wrench in things. Like I said, I love chaos. Everybody knows that. If I didn't love chaos, I wouldn't do these podcasts because, honestly, if you're trying to make people think, you got to stir the pot. You got to sit there and make them question things and think. And there's nothing more chaotic than making a person think and question things. Because you just threw a monkey wrench in the whole system. So you gotta love chaos. It's a powerful tool. It's one of those conundrums that we keep running across. Well, if you do this, you're no better than that. Wait, hold up. If you say that, but what is my intention? Well, I've been quite upfront what my intentions are. Always am. And to some people, my intentions are probably pure evil because I'm telling you things I shouldn't. I am educating you how to see things that are in front of your face every day and that will eventually protect you from them. Make you question, like, okay, why? People don't like that. Therefore, in some people's eyes, that's what goes back to the matter of perspective. I am evil. But I believe what I'm doing is good. My intentions are good and pure. And To each their own. I firmly believe I'll do what I will as long as it's from my will. And everybody else can piss off. Harsh realities, harsh way of thinking, because most people can't grasp that concept. You just said you love is nothing. It is nothing until I give it something. Ain't nothing in this world free. Not friendship, not love. It's a give or take. It's all how we form our perspective, our intent. When we choose to give something power, something meaning. No word should ever have meaning or power unless it is needed. Never give somebody else the control over your mind over you. Words can cause fear, phobias, but yet words can heal. Like I said, from the very beginning, the pen has always been mightier than the sword. And that's what they don't like. They know it, but they fall into that little mind fuck that they think they're in control. They believe the illusion, the lie. They're not in control. Never were, never have been, and never will be. And history has shown us that every great empire has fallen because of what? The same thing. But yet we still fall right back to the caste system. A new society rises up. Next thing you know, we have the labels back in place. We have the chieftains, I hate titles. But titles are important. It makes us feel good. Makes us feel important. Why can't we just be the fool? Why can't we just be the nobody? Quiet all thought. And there comes peace. But no, we're taught we can't do that. I'm telling you, you can. I'm telling you that you have more control over your life and the things in your life than you will ever be able to imagine. You just got to believe it. Hence, and this is one of my, I don't know, it's not my favorite quote from the Bible. My second favorite quote. Faith without works is dead. You got to put faith and conviction. You got to believe it. You got to work for it to make it reality. That's the power of faith. It isn't given. You have to work for it. And you got to believe in it. So therefore, it's a tool. It's probably your third most powerful tool. But right with it is denial. Denying the existence of something by giving it no meaning is your top tool. It is actually that simple. No image should have power. No image should have any meaning. If it makes you laugh, cool. Sometimes it'll make you laugh because you see what it really, for what it really is, and it's like, ha ha, yeah, nice try. Wrong guy. Next. I know your tricks. They're just parlor tricks compared to what you could do. Like I said, every tool you need, you possess. It's in your mind. Learn to control your mind and not let others control it and free it. And oh my God, the changes that could come in your lives and the people around you, because what? We vibrate that frequency and energy. Our bodies produce electricity, and it has its own vibration and frequency. And when we start making changes, people feel it, people sense it. It's the natural instinct. Whenever everybody has this natural ability to feel it, they notice it. Like when a woman's pregnant, she has this glow. I don't know. I still don't understand this one, but a pregnant woman has this glow about her. You know she's pregnant. It's creation. But we all see it. But yet we can't see anything else. Sometimes we got to start with the simplest thing that we can see and feel. And branch off from that. What else are we missing out on in life? Makes you wonder, don't it? Problem is, we got people too busy trying to put their boots on our necks and keep us down. Keeping us dumb. Encaged. Controlled. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all the hate. All the ignorance. I find nothing blissful about it right now. And I don't blame any of you. It's not your fault. It happened way before you even had a glimpse and understanding that it was happening. It's not your fault. But it is now your fault. If you listen to this podcast, now you know. And once you know, now you're accountable. Which brings me to that loophole. It's no longer my responsibility what you do with the tools. Like I said, I'm a master of my own game. Now, you guys must become masters at yours. It's a craft. Trust me, it is a craft. It takes time to hone. But it's so simple to start. It's just by questioning everything. Nothing has meaning. Nothing has value. Why? Okay. It goes back to the argument. Greatest argument ever. What is time? What is time? Time is a man-made concept. How do we know it's time? Is it almost 9 o'clock? So we'll say 9 o'clock. How do we know it's 9 o'clock? Because somebody told us it's 9 o'clock at this hour. But yet, somewhere overseas, it's a almost 12-hour time difference. Ooh. What is time? Can you control time? It's a man-made thing it's an illusion that we believe to be. It's 9 o'clock here. It's what 3 hours time difference. It's 6 o'clock on the West Coast. Yeah, I'm not going there. That's just too much thinking for my brain. Did you get the concept? We're told it's this time, but yet, is it? As our sun gets older, gets bigger, as our planet shifts because of the draw on the pole of the constellations, the moons wobble. Does that not change the time? Some days our seasons have changed. So does that not change the concept of time? No, I don't know. So it's a mind fuck. It's meant to fuck with your mind. Why? Because why do we tell time? Because somebody says it's this time at this time of the day, and that's it. We never questioned it. Now that you questioned it, welcome to the crowd, because I still don't know the answer. I do. It's an illusion. I work third shift, so therefore my time is different from a first shifter's time. My day is night. Their day is day. It's little games like that that will also help you free your mind. Because it makes you question things. It makes you play the stupid game of, okay, so who dictates time? You do. You control time. What time is it for you? Oh, why? Well, because you said it's that time. I don't know it's that time where you're at. I don't know where you're at. It's that easy, guys. I mean, it's that simple. I don't think I've been trying to dumb it down. I couldn't dumb it down because it was that simple. See, like I said, me and simplicity don't get along. Because it took me that long to figure out how to simplify it. Over 2 hours. But it is that simple. Nobody controls you. You control yourself. You're the masters of your own illusions, your own darkness, your own light, your own perspectives. You have all the tools. You just never knew how to use them. I'll start playing with them. But remember, somebody's watching. Because eventually you're going to learn how to cause not ripples, but waves. And that's when people pay attention. That's when people are like, oh, yeah. But they don't want people causing even a ripple. Because a ripple's dangerous. You ever skipped a stone across water? Or threw one in and watched the ripples expand outwards? That's what frequency and vibration do. Same concept. But that's what you can do. That's how you can turn a mob into a peaceful, cheering audience. Or turn that peaceful, cheering audience into the mob. Takes one little pebble. One little nudge. That's how easy it is to cause change. Or cause catastrophe in the wrong hands. And unfortunately, like I said, we got tools and people in the wrong hands. People that want to control. They have that illusion, that grandeur of illusion that they are better than us. That I'm going to make my living off these people. Huh? Really? I don't think so. Bad enough you robbed me for my taxes. Boy, have we forgotten fucking taxation without representation. But we allowed it to keep happening. We allow the IRS to go unchecked, unshuttered. There's no overseers. Just those that want to print paper and take your money. Then we have the politicians. Well, let's raise more taxes. How much of that actually goes back to paying off our debt? Nobody questions those things anymore. Where does the money go? Does it really go back to paying off our debt? Interesting thought. Interesting question. Climate change. Oh my God. There's a trigger for everyone. And the fact is, like I said, is there such thing? Yeah. Man-made climate change? Yeah, we have a minute impact. That's the fucked up part about it. They don't want to talk about the sun getting older, getting bigger. They don't want to talk about, that hell, at our worst, which was during the coal and steam age, we still didn't pollute the earth as much as it was in past. Scientifically documented from core samples and tree rings, to where this earth was more polluted than it is now. But yet, we're causing climate change. Kiss my ass. Sorry, don't buy that illusion either. Go tell that fable to somebody else. The answers are there if you go look. See, the problem is, they've gotten so smart, they'll go pay their own scientists, give them all this funding if they say exactly what they want them to say. Therefore, it's right. This scientist said it, but yet if you follow the money, they were given all this funding to say that. Where these independent scientists who don't get no kickbacks at all, they gotta work their asses off to be able to do their research, have proven them wrong time and time again. But no, we can't talk about that. Because that goes against the narrative. That goes against the status quo. Oh, we fact-checked that by using our own independent fact-checkers that work for us. There's no such thing as true statistics either. Like I said, the number games is bullshit. All of it. Well, this poll says this. Yep, and I know how to bring a poll too. It's quite simple. If I know how this group of people are, I know what community they're from, how they vote all the time, their education system, their living, I can almost guarantee the pool's going to say the same thing every time at a high number because I only took from that seed. I didn't go over here to the community projects and ask them the same question, because if I did, I'd have a different result. It's all rigged. The whole system is an illusion. And they feed it to you through a silver spoon. And guess what? Many of you believe it. But this poll says this. Yeah. Yeah, we seen how that worked for them. They made sure it didn't happen again, didn't they? Boy, COVID was a powerful tool, wasn't it? And guess what? Round 2 is coming. They gave us a little freedom just to pacify everyone. Beta test over. Now let's go swing things in a higher gear and see what else we can rape, pillage, and plunder. Well, let's see how much we can really force them. If you want to work, you got to be vaccinated. You want to go take a trip, you got to be vaccinated. You want to fly, you got to be vaccinated. You want to get your driver's license, well, you better be vaccinated. You want to go to a club? Papers, please. No. Sorry, homie, don't play that game. Oh, you want to throw a private party? You can't do that. Chaos. Gotta love it. It's the world we're living in, and who's going to step up? Who's going to learn to use their tools? Because that's what it comes down to. Who's going to be the ones to cast those stones to cause those ripples that turn into waves? Because when one ripple meets another, it creates something a little bit different. It changes. It grows. It spreads farther. You only need a few to start with. I don't need a whole group of people. I just need one. They're gonna trigger another and another. And before you know it, you just created a tidal wave. Hope you guys enjoyed your little educational experience tonight, because this won't happen again. The backlash I'm going to get from this, not that I don't welcome it. I've been bored here of late anyway. Like I said, I like chaos. And some people will might one of these days leave well enough alone. I retreat into those shadows, leave me the fuck alone. Don't draw me back out. No, I already got the message. I ain't getting no more breaks, so careful what you wish for. You might not like what you get. But this will be the last educational video like this, because I don't like doing it. Because it goes against some of the things I said I wouldn't do on this channel. Because I don't like manipulation of any sort. Never have, never will. It's just because it doesn't do any good. It creates an illusion. It creates a lie. I get the concepts of it. I get the theories, the practices, and all that behind it as a teaching aspect. I get that. I get it's. I just can't be taught the way I was taught. It's simple. You're standing on a cliff, kick you off the cliff, swim, bitch, shores that way. It's that simple. You make it, you make it, you don't, you don't. Honestly, it is that simple. I, but that's the difference. Some of us were taught, and most people never get a chance to. So it takes assholes like me to come along and stir the pot from time to time. And did I enjoy doing it? Yeah, fuck yeah. I enjoy breaking glass cottages. It's fun, as long as it don't happen to me. Fucked up how that goes, isn't it? It's no fun when the shoe's on the other foot. But I've been there, done that. Like I said, happens from time to time still. Don't like it. But I don't like what I'm seeing. I know there's many people out there that don't. And I know many people out there that's going to be saying, oh, you're evil. You taught esoteric knowledge. You're a Satanist. Oh, yeah, nope. You wish. I'm far worse. Figure that one out. Why am I far worse? Because I do what I will. Because I stir the pot. Because it's fun. Because it's needed. And breaking the illusions of the label game is long past overdue. The play on words, all of it. Breaking that control system is what we all should be doing. We should all be freeing ourselves from the prisons that we put ourselves in. Not being puppets to somebody else, being controlled. Because that's the true teachings of the esoterics. Is to free your mind. Free yourself from the illusions and the brainwashing that has been allowed to happen. We should all be free thinkers. We should all be free. We should never be judging anybody based on any of their beliefs, practices, race, anything. Because we all believe the same. Our DNAs, other than what separates us from male and female, is the same. No, for some, it's hard to believe. And the one last reality fact, you can never get rid of the evil. It has to be there. It is the universal law. You can't have one without the other. So for all you utopia theorists out there, it's a dream. It can never happen. You cut off one head, three grow back in its place. It has to be there. It is the very concept of the universe. Everything has its purpose. One cannot exist without the other. Which is well taught in the good book. Believe it or not, I am the Alpha Omega. I'm the beginning and the end. I am the creator. I am God. I am love, hate. I am merciful, wrath. It's throughout the whole Bible. Somehow, that's why I don't like religion. Nothing wrong with being spiritual. But when dogma comes into play and dictates this person's evil because they believe this, then, well, I guess that's not part of the new law, the New Testament, because the New Testament says we're supposed to love everyone, even thine enemy, which is the hardest one of them all, in my personal opinion. But I'm sure I can find ways to twist that and the loopholes for that if I truly sat back and thought about it, which I have. So it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of how you learn to word things. It's a word game. How to give things meaning, take away meaning, add meaning. It's an equation. It's a formula. Something to think about. Because you guys have all the control in the world. You just don't use it. There's the real mind fuck. You have all the control. And you don't use it. You have all the tools and you don't know how to use them. Or you're afraid to. It's nothing wrong being a little afraid to play with some of the tools. That's why you start with the beginner set and work your way up. And the easiest ones are your words. Because they're the ones that actually hold the most power. It's just figuring out how to use them right. When changing of vocals, tones, energies, frequencies need to be applied. It's honestly kind of that simple. Scarily that simple. But hey, to each their own, what they do with their tools. Like I said, not my responsibility no more. As like I said, the more you learn, the more you experiment and play and research and do all that fun stuff. Yeah, there might be some numbing experiences along the way because, yeah, sometimes you gotta break your own glass house. Yeah, notice I said house, not cottage. Yeah, we don't normally break our own cottages. We break houses. Yeah, it's a little numbing, and yeah, you'll know it. Just don't come blaming me when you do it. You did it to yourself. And some of you might have just had that happen after listening to this rambling podcast. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freedoms of speech. Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, I was guilty on the image thing too. Triggers, seeds. Learn how to use them. They can be very liberating if used properly. And that's been the problem. They're not being used properly. They've been used to control, subjugate, divide, conquer, enslave, and I can go on with all the analogies and word games and word puns because that's what it is. What did you give meaning? What did I say that triggered you? That offended you? That hurt? Why'd you give it power? Why'd you give me power to do that? First off, I mean, you gotta be out of your rabbit ass mind to allow that to happen. But some of you will. That's the beauty of it. And then I'm gonna walk away. Yep, I did my job. I'm happy now. Like I said, it ain't about numbers. I guess I'm a sadist. I guess that's probably the correct term, right? Me getting satisfaction out of bursting bubbles, churning, causing chaos, stirring the pot, making you think and question things. Well, that makes me a sadist. I guess I am, but trust me, you'll thank me for it later. Or not. Either way, I don't care. See, one of my self defense mechanisms, how quick I can go to that part where I don't care. Find those defense mechanisms for yourself. And I've got a bunch. Learn to create them. It's a game. Treat it as such. Simplest way I can put it. Treat it as a game. And have fun. And see what happens. It beats being someone else's puppet. Why not be the puppet master? You don't. Just remember this right here. There's always somebody bigger and badder around the corner. You just haven't met them yet. And try playing the puppet master, you will meet them. And trust me, you're not going to like it afterwards. Just saying. But it's a game. Be the fool for once. It's all right to be the fool. Like I said, nobody pays attention to the fool. Or if they do, they're laughing at him or her. It's the gesture. So be the fool. Watch, observe, see everything, hear everything. And nobody sees you. The greatest illusion of them all is to be the fool. Who has the power there? Does the crowd that's being enticed and enchanted by the fool? Or does the fool who sat there and listened to every conversation, heard every little secret that was passed, and nobody paid attention, that he was standing right there? He was a nobody. But yet he holds all the information. He knows all the secrets. Like I said, some of the most deadliest assassins were the fools. Some of the most deadliest, dangerous people in the world is the ones you don't see. Because they're nobody. They don't register. They're that invisible person in the crowd. The average day Joe. The gray man, if you will. The chameleon. And like I said, I go on and on and on and on with the word analogies. Because you have to. You gotta learn how to play the words. Know when to give a meaning, know when not to give a meaning. And you'll see the world in a different view. Hope you guys all enjoyed. I am actually going to end this in a decent amount of time. Like I said, I actually had fun with this one, but it's not going to happen again. Enjoy the free educational video. Because it's up to you what you do with your tools. Not me. Most of mine stay in a box. And when I say box, I mean mentally yeah, fuck, I can't pronounce it. You know what I mean. You know what I say. Mentally yeah, no, not happening. Tucked away, back in somewhere, and dry storage back in my mind till they're needed. Or till a trigger comes up that brings the tool to be used as a defense. Powerful the tools they are. You guys all have a good night. Enjoy your weekend, and I don't know, probably not doing another podcast. I think I'm going to enjoy my 4 days off and cause some chaos. You all have a good night.